Jonathan Miller was a man of simple tastes. A quiet life, away from the bustle of the city, was all he wanted. When he found a quaint old house on the outskirts of Blackwood Hill, he felt he had discovered his perfect heaven. The house was charming with its aged brickwork, sprawling garden, and large, welcoming windows. The town itself was sleepy, filled with old-world charm and friendly faces. It seemed like the perfect place to settle down and pursue his love for drawing. The first person Jonathan met was a girl named Eliza. She was standing near the house when he arrived, her dark hair cascading over her shoulders and her eyes a mesmerizing shade of green. Jonathan was instantly captivated by her beauty. Eliza warned him in a soft, almost sorrowful voice. "You shouldn't live here. This house is not what it seems." Despite her warning, Jonathan was too enamored to heed her words. He smiled, assuring her he would be fine. That night, he couldn't stop thinking about Eliza. He sketched her from memory, capturing the ethereal quality of her face on paper. Exhausted, he finally fell asleep, his dreams filled with her image. The first night in the house was peaceful. Jonathan slept soundly, the silence of the countryside wrapping him in a comforting embrace. But the tranquility did not last. The next night, strange things began to happen. It started with whispers. Faint at first, like a breeze rustling through leaves. Jonathan dismissed them as tricks of his imagination. But as the night deepened, the whispers grew louder, more insistent. They seemed to echo through the walls, filling the rooms with a sinister presence. The following morning, Jonathan found his drawings scattered across the floor, pages torn and smeared with what looked like dark, inky handprints. He tried to shake off the unease, attributing it to a restless night and his overactive imagination. That night, the whispers returned, accompanied by a chilling draft that swept through the house. Jonathan's breath misted in the cold air, and he felt a presence in the room with him. Shadows danced on the walls, taking on grotesque shapes that seemed to mock him. Suddenly, the fireplace roared to life with green flames, casting eerie shadows that writhed and twisted. The whispers grew into a cacophony, and Jonathan saw Eliza standing in the corner, her eyes glowing with an unholy light. She pointed at him, her voice a chilling wail. "Leave this place or suffer!" Jonathan's heart pounded as he backed away, but the visions only grew more intense. He saw the walls bleed with dark, viscous fluid, and skeletal hands clawed at him from beneath the floorboards. The house itself seemed to pulse with malevolent energy, each beat a reminder of the darkness that resided within. In the days that followed, Jonathan tried to keep himself busy with his drawings, but each sketch he made twisted into horrifying images of torment and despair. Faces contorted in agony, scenes of grotesque violence, and depictions of shadowy, monstrous figures filled his pages. He could feel his sanity slipping away, piece by piece. Every night, the hauntings grew worse. The whispers became screams, echoing through the halls like the cries of damned souls. Doors slammed shut on their own, and the walls seemed to close in on him, suffocating him with their oppressive presence. His dreams were no escape either. Eliza haunted his sleep, her once beautiful face now a mask of fury and sorrow. "You must leave," she would hiss, her voice dripping with venom. "This house is not for the living." Jonathan began to fear for his life. The house's malevolence seemed to seep into his very being, draining his strength and resolve. He saw ghastly apparitions of twisted, mutilated figures roaming the hallways, their eyes hollow and void. They reached out to him with bony fingers, their touch like ice on his skin. One night, driven to the brink of madness, Jonathan decided he had to leave. He packed his belongings hastily, but as he tried to leave, he found the doors and windows sealed shut by some unseen force. The house groaned and creaked as if alive, mocking his attempts to escape. Desperate, he fled to the attic, hoping to find a way out. As he climbed the stairs, he heard Eliza's voice again, more menacing than ever. "You can never leave. You are mine, just like all the others." In the attic, Jonathan found old, dusty trunks filled with ancient relics and forgotten memories. Among them, he discovered an old diary. Its pages were brittle, filled with cryptic writings and sketches of a younger Eliza. The final entries told of a pact made with dark forces, of a curse that bound her to the house forever. The realization hit him like a thunderbolt. Eliza wasn't a ghost seeking peace. She was a monster, a malevolent entity who thrived on the torment of those who dared to live in her domain. Her beauty was a trap, a lure to bring more souls into her web of horror. Jonathan knew he had to escape, no matter the cost. He fought his way back down the stairs, the house shaking violently as if trying to devour him. The air was thick with a noxious fog, and the whispers had become a deafening roar. Summoning every ounce of his remaining strength, Jonathan threw himself at the front door, breaking it open with a final, desperate push. He stumbled out into the night, gasping for breath, the cold air a stark contrast to the suffocating darkness inside. As he fled down the path, he glanced back one last time. The house loomed ominously, its windows like empty eyes watching him. And there, in the doorway, stood Eliza, her face twisted into a malevolent grin. "You can run, but you'll never escape," she called after him, her voice echoing through the night. Jonathan never looked back again. He left Blackwood Hill, carrying with him the scars of his ordeal. The house on Blackwood Hill remained, a dark silhouette against the sky, waiting for its next victim. And Eliza, the beautiful monster, waited patiently, her hunger for souls never sated, her curse eternal.